Now let's turn to PlayStation Vita. I alluded to it a little bit before. That was, the big hardware launch for Sony this year with PS Vita, and there've been, some really cool games. Gravity Rush, Sound Shapes, cool titles coming out for it. But here we are at the end of the year, and I mean, we're not hearing a lot, momentum behind Vita, even though they've got, an Assassin's Creed game which looks really cool, Liberation. They've got a Call of Duty game, which we'll see how that turns out. But PlayStation Vita, I mean, Michael, from your perspective, is there an upside for PlayStation Vita, or where does this system go?
No upside. The two big industry mistakes in 2012, or maybe partly 2011, were chasing MMOs. So there goes 38 Studios, and there goes Star Wars: The Old Republic, and chasing handhelds. I mean, those two markets are evaporating, and it's not for want of great products. I mean, we talked about this offline, but Star Wars is a good product, and I think that the 38 game would have been a good product.
And Vita's a good
Vita's
system.
Phenomenal. The 3DS is a great product, but those markets are shrinking, and you've got more competition chasing a shrinking market. And the truth is that the mass market has moved on to smartphones and tablets. They're not coming back, and they're absolutely not coming back for a very high-priced, super high-quality, device. So I think Vita is dead. I think it's over before it ever gets going because it's just too expensive for the people who they need to support it to support. They're not going to do that.
We don't take trains to work. We don't take buses to work. We drive. You can't play a game while you're driving. So I agree with you. The Vita was never going to take off. But they had also never had that must-have game. It never had a totally amazing game that everybody wanted to play. I don't think that would have helped all that
Well,
much.
I think honestly the most
bit.
compelling thing to me about Vita is this idea of the cross-play and things like that, where you can, PlayStation All-Stars, you get a free copy of, the game for Vita, and you can sort of, play it on the go and things like that. I think that's kind of an interesting proposition that you can't do on any other platform. So maybe that's where sort of the appeal is, but it's very limited, I think. And, Sly Cooper, you get the game for Vita for free. You can finish 3 levels on PS3, another 2 on Vita. There's value there. The question is, how many people really want to do that?
It's a smart move, but I'll give you an example of, PlayStation launched with Super Stardust Delta. Last week, I actually put in a disc-based game for the first time, I think, since launch in Assassin's Creed Liberation, which is a fantastic Assassin's Creed game. But I think it's damning that everything that's come out on the Vita, I was still playing a downloadable game from launch over anything else that came out because it really didn't have that hook. And I think maybe when they announce the PS4, if they can announce some sort of integration, elevated integration with the Vita, that's the last chance for it to really succeed, which is a shame because it's a lovely little console. But the only time I bust it out is when I'm either my girlfriend's watching the TV or I'm on vacation somewhere. I'll take the Vita instead of reading a book.
Right. All right, so PlayStation Vita's got a tough road ahead for it. But quickly, Sony in 2013, obviously a lot of big games coming out. I'm sure we'll be talking about, Last of Us and God of War. And PlayStation 4, do we think, you mentioned, Michael, in the last segment about Xbox, sort of the next one being October to March. Do we think PlayStation 4, are they going to be out at the same time as Xbox?
Yeah,
do they have to be?
I think Sony is same day or earlier than the next Xbox. I think that Sony made a conscious decision in 2000 to launch in front of the Xbox because they feared Microsoft. They made a conscious decision in 2005 not to launch because they wanted to wait for the cell processor. Everything we've heard, all rumors of course, that the PS4 will be commodity components means that there's no third party that's going to keep Sony from launching. Meaning they're going to buy stuff off the shelf inside the box. They will launch when they're ready to, and they're going to be ready to before Microsoft because they don't want to give up a head start to a worthy competitor. And neither company, neither Sony nor Microsoft, seems concerned at all about the Wii U, which speaks volumes. But I think Sony launches, I would bet, by November 15th and very likely in October.
Well, all right, so it's going to be a big battle in 2013. Lots of good bonus rounds coming up.
I gotta say that I still love my PS3, and I still think the PS3 of any console, including the Wii U, has the longest legs, and I would love to see. I would love to see
a ton of huge games next year, right? Xbox has got
the games next year
Gears
are
of War.
fantastic. Honestly, the games they brought out this year are a joke, especially, the last
been off year,
banner year, they were fantastic. All first-party games this year have been well below par, which is a real shame.
All right, well, when we come back in the bonus round, we're going to turn to the third parties and the other headlines, the big news in 2012.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.